Hi, this is Tom Jacobs from tdjacobs.com and also healingsuicide.com. I'm an evolutionary astrologer and energy worker at Channel. Do all kinds of healing work. I teach a lot. I do consultations and readings. Do energetically programmed crystals like Moldavite to help you shift things in your life. One of the things I focus on quite a lot is Lilith. And astrologically, I focus on the true Black Moon Lilith, or also known, its technical name is the osculating apogee. Elsewhere, you've seen a video perhaps where I talk about the difference between the mean and the true position. I think you can look that up here on YouTube on my Lilith playlist, something like mean versus true BML. Anyway, I want to show you something today, which I didn't do in that other video, but I just referenced, and I want to talk a little more about it. Now, for me, using the true Black Moon or the osculating apogee, on astro.com, you can, under additional bodies, you can type in H13 to get the osculating apogee. If you take the one that's listed in the text box on extended chart selection page that's already in there, that's the mean position. Now, my thing about this is that the changeable nature of Lilith demands that we use the osculating apogee, but not many people use it. The reason is because our brains assume that we should not use something erratic that's so weird. This is what I'm going to show you a visual of today. The brain says we need to be able to control and manage things. Well, this is actually, you know, my whole thing about Lilith is about the, you know, healing the wild, allowing our changeable natures to come in and not focusing on hyper controlling everything that, you know, isn't always managed. Like instinct is a main keyword I use for Lilith. So as we look at the motion of the osculating apogee or true Black Moon, I hope to convince you to use it over the mean position. My thing with the mean position is it's like asking a blow-up doll or a Barbie doll what a woman is like. It's a plasticized, molded version of the feminine. And if you think about it, it's kind of like astrology's Eve, taken from, you know, the Genesis story, taken from, you know, created from a rib of a man. The masculine mind or the male idea of what a woman should be like. Pliable, malleable, obedient. That's the average position or the mean position that most people use. So I'm kind of inserting the true Black Moon in there. I'm not the first. There's a Costa Rican astrologer and physicist named Juan Revilla, and oh my God, I'm messing up his name. I'm totally messing up his name. I even just looked. Juan Antonio Revilla. Wow, sorry, Juan. Okay. Anyway, so reading his stuff on his site is, you know, helped me kind of piece together things when I was starting to do work on the archetype in 2004, 2005. So he says, if you look at the archetype of Lilith, you can't use the mean position because it doesn't have anything to do with the erratic, changeable nature. So the deal with the true Black Moon is it is actually a function or a calculation of the moon's orbit around the Earth. So it is not like a planet. So that masculine mind idea of trying to control things, saying, well, I mean, we would never accept this from Mars, would we? You know, it's different. It's not a, it's a point. It's not a body in the sky. So the asteroid Lilith, number 1181, is an actual body in the asteroid belt. And so that's different, you know, where it's, you know, roughly 4-year orbit. I don't have the number on top of my head. It's out there with all those other asteroids and asteroid goddesses, right? It has a retrograde period every year, and we kind of can look at, you know, we can see it. We can look at it, you know, with technological aids. But the true Black Moon is a point. The osculating apogee is a point. So I want to show you this this motion. I'm going to share the screen and pull up the software dealio thing. And I just kind of removed everything else from the chart because it was getting a little clunky, and I use a bunch of asteroids and stuff. So this is just set up as real-time clock right now. And what I want you to understand is that it kind of whips around a little bit. And we can't, if we, according to Revilla, taking a bunch of data over time, it'll average out to around 15 days forward and then retrograde. But it could be 12 days direct and then 16 days retrograde and then it could be 18 days direct and 20 days retrograde, 12 days direct, 15, 17, 21. That is why the brain says this is too erratic, we can't use this. I'm going to show you that in visual form right now, but I want you to just understand that as a function of the moon's orbit around the Earth, it's not this, as a point, it is not the same as a planet. So your brain should give it some freedom to be its natural self. Nobody had need to calculate its exact position until 1992. You can think about that. 27 years ago as of this recording in early 2019. So this is, the mean position was definitely, more attractive because of this weirdness I'm going to show you. So you're going to notice what I call this erratic motion. I'm going to go day by day. And so I'm just going to go forward a day. Right there, it's retrograde at 20 Pisces as of this recording. Oh, tomorrow, it's under a degree different, and then it's 2 degrees different, so it's speeding up in its retro motion. Another 2 degrees, another 2 degrees, another 2. So it will continue like that, and then it will start to slow down here. Here's 2 degrees, oh, a little less, then it's direct again. And then it's going to gain speed again back into Pisces, retrograde at 26, go back. So what it does is it goes back and forth over a sector of the chart, either over 2 signs or 3 signs. It could be 2 of your natal houses or 3 at a time, depending on position and where the cusps are and how big your houses are if you use Placidus or something like that. But this is, goes forward some, it goes backward some. There's no point in right now counting the forward and backward motion. Like I said, using a lot of data, it will average out to around 15. I can't remember if it's like 15.4 or 14.8 or 15.8, but it's around there that it kind of averages out over a very long period of time. So we're just going to keep doing this back into Aquarius and then back forward. And so over the course of, some years, it will make its way around the wheel. So just coming back to the clock where it is today, right now. Now, in my version of SolarFire here has a little weird thing about it where if I automatically advance it, no matter what the speed bar is set to, it'll go super fast. And this is the only application for which this is useful. So clearing out all the other planets and points and whatever, and just putting in the true black moon, the osculating apogee. So I'm going to show you this. All right. It is zigging back and forth, right? Okay, so now you get a sense of that. That's the long term. Now stopping that, that's into September of 2020. So that is, neat trick, Tom. But I just wanted to show you that that's kind of what it does over time. And so in transit, the true black moon will activate a sector of your chart over and over and over again. So let's say that, over the next few weeks, as I was talking about earlier, we have, it's in 20 Pisces right now, it's retrograde. It's going to go retrograde and station again at 22 Aquarius in the end of March. Then it's going to go forward again, station at 26. Then it's going to go back, and it's going to station higher than 22 Aquarius. Or no, it isn't. It's actually going back further. I was wrong. It's going to station at 20, or just under 21. So it's going to dance over the same territory over and over again. So let's just redial this back to present. Let's say that you have a planet at 10 Pisces. So it would already have passed it when it's direct, and now it's at 20. It's going retrograde. So it's going to just touch. It's just going to touch that planet for part of a day. And then it's going to station at 22 again, and then it's going to come forward. Oh, whoops, sorry. There, it's just going to touch again. It's going to pass over briefly, a couple of weeks later. And then it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go back. It's just going to dance over it briefly and then go back, and then it's going to hit it again. I think you get the idea, but I want you to understand, there it's going to hit it again. I want you to understand that there are many small hits, and I want to explain what this is about. This is a temporary minor activation of that planet in your chart to open up to improv or more instinct or fewer rules or less control. But here's the thing, each instance is small. So the effect can be very light. But if you take it over the course of a couple of months where it went over that Mercury, it conjuncted that Mercury forward and retrograde, you know, 6 or 10 times, you know, and it might have even stationed right on it, then you can kind of have an idea of, oh, right, this second house Mercury is being activated, or this 10th house Jupiter, oh, and you kind of have you can build a sense of understanding how it's being activated to get in touch more with instinct, to open up to, I said improv, like not being so rigid about rules, listening to your body, listening to the cues in the air, how things smell. You know, that's a Lilith kind of invitation in the short term for connecting with your endocrine system and your emotions and your energy, all those things as they are connected to your and affect your body. So that motion goes over a sector of your chart for a while, and then it will, you know, and then over the course of weeks, it shifts. Like it'll go up in, like for example here, it'll go into Aries next, and then back into Aquarius not as far, and then into Aries a little more, and then back into Aquarius less, until it's going from Pisces to Aries, and then Pisces, Aries, Taurus, and then eventually Aries, Taurus. So it makes its way all the way around in that way. So you can't, I mean, we have, you know, this in the ephemeris of where it is, but you can't guesstimate with your head where it's going to be next Tuesday. You can't, like, you can say, oh, well, the moon travels so far typically, right? You know, the sun travels a degree a day, you know, around a degree a day. Whatever it is, like, oh, you know, Mercury's retrograde right now, and for the next several weeks, it's going to be retro, and you know it's going from 29 Pisces to whatever, 15 or 16 Pisces. Like, all these other things, we can do the math and understand where they're going to be. This is erratic and changeable and different. And I just wanted to show you that visual. I think we can do this one more time here, just to give you an idea. No, I know it's really quick, but you can notice how it's, let's see if I can slow it down. No, it's not changing speed. Anyway, you can see how it's going through the different signs and turn back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, enough of that business. Thanks for your time and energy. If you want to know about the true Black Moon in your own chart, the True Black Moon Lilith Natal Report, available at tdjacobs.com, is a great option. Also, my book, Lilith, Healing the Wild, will explain all this stuff to you. It's a great emphasis in the book, a heavy emphasis on myth and archetype and culture, society, where the patriarchy comes from, and how we can own Lilith energy within us in a healthy, positive way. And I do in the book spell out and treat in detail 9 stages of an archetypal process where most people are dancing with number 5, because the Lilith cultural teaching is, if you are Lilith, you probably deserve to be punished, and number 5 is anger and rage. So anyway, I offer a way out of what is typically experienced as Lilith, which can be very negative. So anyway, I hear from my readers that it's the only positive book on Lilith out there. I hope you enjoy it, and check out what else I'm up to at tdjacobs.com and also healingsuicide.com. Take care.